Supporting the virtual classroom and the online curriculum. I mentioned before how we're taking, and I'm sure we'll be expanding that even further, but how we're taking junior highs and having senior high teachers teaching junior highs without moving students from one place to another, or teachers from one place to another. Access to 24/7 files from any location. Interacting with the data management system, the online portals. This is extremely important, and it helps with improving the school rapport, as Tolley and Schofer have indicated. And we found that to be the case. Teachers and students and parents have been much more involved in communicating back and forth when there's something to be discussed as far as a missing assignment, and they're aware of it very quickly without waiting for a paper progress report to come home. Some improvements that I would recommend. The awareness program for cybersecurity, bullying, and ethics, as noted in Solomon and Schrum, that's something that is extremely important, and I would like to see a full course that is required for every freshman student that comes into the high school to take, and it should actually be done even before high school. I think that that should be a course that each year students are required to take a portion of it in the elementary and a portion of it in the junior highs, as it becomes more rigorous as they get older, because they understand more about what misdeeds they can get into. The web-based technology is now available for textbooks and ebooks, and instead of carrying 50 pounds on your backpacks at high school with all these books, I really think that an e-reader or having it on your phone or textbook resources would be advantageous, and we really need to look at that as a real way of handing out our textbooks. Online videos and storage information. As I said, they're starting to do a repository now. They're just starting to put that as a pilot program, and I think that's a long time coming, and we've been asking for that particular service, so that's in the works. Offering open source software. At this point, we're Microsoft software at all of our districts. We actually purchased that, and I think the district really should start looking at some of the open source software that's available for little or nothing on the web, and allowing students that can't afford Office or one of the other products at home to have access to those open source software programs, because currently they're blocked by the filtering system. So we need to look at that. Okay, empowering students by creating a learning partnership with the teachers and communicating the technology, described by Alan November in his book. I think what we need to do is create more of these programs where teachers and students collaborate more. Right now, we're still a little bit in the top down from the teacher to the student, and I think it needs to be more of a partnership where teachers understand that students bring a lot to the table, especially in the technology end of it. And if they could incorporate the teacher's knowledge of instruction with the knowledge that some of the students bring in technology, the collaboration could be very powerful. And I think that that's something that the district needs to look at. Assessment-based instruction for each class. Here we're looking at taking the data from the assessments and driving the instruction. We need more online assessments built that would actually look at the criteria of what is needed for that subject, and then have assessments evaluated at that point, and then the instruction built from that point forward, rather than teaching students things that they already know or have already accomplished. Student consulting on advisory boards for evaluating technology. I know they have a roundtable with the superintendent, but perhaps they need to have a teacher-student advisory board for purely technology and looking at some of the new things that are coming out that maybe even the the older technologists are not aware of, and ways that students use technology. That's very important. We assume that they may be using a certain technology like email, but perhaps it's not being servicing them correctly without having the portal open and them getting their emails to the phone. Perhaps they weren't even checking email, and that was one thing we found out through our technology, small technology group, that students weren't even accessing their email because, one, they didn't know how to do it, or two, it was just too difficult. So I think that this has been a great learning experience for all of us, and I've enjoyed comparing the two programs. I think that Katie is exemplary when it comes to a lot of these. They've already addressed many of the issues that the National Education Plan has on them. And I think this will be a very exciting time for Katie as well. Thank you.